Okay, Minorcan Navy, here we go back at the chemical plant. The weather has not been our friend here in southeast Georgia. Our timing has just been off, and when we have had time to go fly, it's been raining. But we got up early this morning and were able to catch the window before the weather moved in this afternoon. So we're just going to fly around the site right here and take a look at what's going on. And we can see that they're in the process of still loading out some of this scrap, and we're going to get a closer look at some of this scrap and just kind of see some of these piles that they put together. We're going to fly around the plant as well. We're also going to take a look at a front end loader, which appeared to be loading some of the rosin material. For what we understand, that's an inert material that comes out of pine trees, and it solidified when they shut the plant down. This is what was in those tanks that we saw them kind of breaking up a few days ago. But here's one of the piles right here, and we thought we'd take a little closer look at this material and give you guys a better idea what's coming out of the plant while the process of demolition continues here in Brunswick, Georgia. Again, we're at the former Pinova Chemical Plant, which was the former Hercules plant, which I think also had a name before that. But Hercules and Pinova are the pretty well-known names that operated this facility over, the past, 80 years or so. The plant had been in operation for well over 100 years. May have even been under the Hercules name longer than that. But here's that front end loader, big machine, and it's working on that pile of that's what we believe is some of that pine rosin. And that stuff's hard as concrete. I mean, you can see some of the chunks that are up there, almost like boulders. This machine is taking over and placing into a dumpster. But the crews are moving right along, even with the storms, and we're starting to get into our stormy season here. As the summer continues to build and get heat into the ocean, we start to get a lot of afternoon thunderstorms, and we know we've just experienced the first major hurricane that came out of the Atlantic basin, and that's happened early. They're predicting we're going to have a pretty active storm season, so we will probably see, anytime you're along the coast, especially in the southeastern part of the United States, it's always something you got to keep your eye on the weather, watching these systems as they develop. Even the tropical waves that develop more often than the hurricanes, but they can really cause some pretty adverse weather to affect our area right here along the coast, and that may affect the process here. Well, I'm actually probably pretty sure it will, because usually when they come in, they're pretty messy storms, and they drop a lot of rain. But we can see that Caterpillar loader and dropping off that load. He's going to come back and get another one. All part of the process to get this facility cleaned up. But I will tell you that these guys are making some incredible headway of moving through the plant and getting at least the metal taken away. Now, what happens with the rest of these foundations or pads that are out here, these concrete areas, I'm not sure. We're gonna wait and see how that progresses. But you can get a pretty good idea how tough this stuff can be, this material. Watching the tractor try to get it broken up and uh, into the bucket of that loader. It's it's big enough that it is a little bit aggravating trying to get it loaded up. You see the operator keeps working that pile, and as he does that, he's kind of breaking that material up as it does encounter the bucket. He eventually gets a pretty good load in there. And then he'll be back over to the dumpster. They still have a lot of material to process, but let's go over and let's take a little look at some more of this material that's been separated here at the site. A lot of piping. And they have stacked all this material into these piles. Kind of you can see that different types of tanks, the piping, some of the sizes of the stuff has been put in certain areas. All part of the process to get this material over to the scrap and recycler. But they have been moving quite efficiently on the property. No doubt about that. Now we're flying back towards the east. That's the Atlantic Ocean that you see in the background. You got St.simons Island there, and then the Atlantic Ocean way back in the back of the screen. And then flying back over this area right in here, from what we understand, this piece of yellow equipment coming up was where they started the process of processing the pine that came in to the facility. There used to be just a huge mound of pine stumps that they would process here, and you're going to see the area where those pine stumps were. But this was the chipper or the shredder where they would load those pine stumps, and this is where the process got started. This machine right here would chew those up. You can kind of see some of the remnants of the operation still down in the hopper and on those conveyors. And then their loading pad, and then this area off to the left is where they would have had those pine stumps stored. Just a mountainous area there of stumps. All those are gone. And those are actually one of the first things that left off the property. Still quite a bit to be taken care of here. No doubt about that. But the team that's in place here working the demolition is doing some very efficient work. Well, guys, we got the Independence Day holiday coming up. I want to remind everybody, place on ground, light fuse, and get away. Let's everybody have a very safe and happy Independence Day celebration. Thanks for watching, and hey, you guys, be safe out there.